Hello, beauty therapist. My name is Kathleen, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. If you hadn't read the title already, I'm sure you're very excited for another episode of our Industry Leader Live interview. Welcome to another episode of this brand new series introducing to Australia's industry leaders within the beauty industry. There are so many of them, and today I'm really, really excited to introduce you to someone very special. So on this ongoing interview series, essentially I'll be uncovering what it takes to become an industry leader and really diving deep into the person I'm interviewing's career history and really what got them to where they're at today. So in today's episode, I would like to introduce you to Pia, and I just said her last name correctly, but now it's gone out of my mind. Pia Kynoch. Thank you. We've got it, Pia Kynoch, and she is a corneotherapist and holistic skin therapist. She's an accredited naturopath and owner of the successful skin and wellness clinic, Verve Skin, Beauty and Wellness. She's also a very passionate holistic educator. Among Pia's many accomplishments, she also holds qualifications in female embodiment yoga, Reiki, Qigong, NLP, meditation and mindfulness, and business leadership. That is a list. That's pretty amazing. And all accomplishments aside, Pia is an incredibly passionate, dedicated therapist who enjoys sharing information and inspiring those around her. So I'm so excited. I know you guys will absolutely love her. I'm going to bring her on, and please feel welcome to ask questions throughout. So excited for the first episode of 2020. So let's bring Pia on. Here she comes.
Hello, beautiful woman. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And yeah, I didn't realize we are the first episode of 2020. 2020 is just a huge year energetically for so many different reasons. And yeah, I'm thrilled. Thank you. That's really wonderful.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. So before we get in, I just want to double check that we are live and we're working and everything is good. So if anyone is watching, please comment, or we've got a nice little comment there. And just to let you all know, to all of you who are watching, and I'm not sure if your screen's different, Pia, but we don't see the names. It just says Facebook user. Yeah. So we'll probably say hello, but we can't see your name right now. So
thank you for being here. Lots of love.
That's right. Thank you for being here. So let's just get into it, hey?
Yes.
And awesome. So it's just a fun one to start off with, but I'd love to know, what is your number one favorite thing about the beauty industry, Pia?
Oh, I love this question. And I do think about it a lot, but I think what really excites me the most is just the potential that we have to make a huge positive impact on a person's life, and the ripple effects that go on from there when we help a person feel really great in their own skin. It is just so potent. And I feel like that the gift that we have with the experience that they get to have with us in clinic, obviously the touch, the smells, the sound, the nurturing, that loving kind of cocooning space that we can offer someone, plus that energetic exchange, that is really powerful within itself. But then all the different educational platforms that are now available to us, whether it's in person, obviously, but then we've got all our different online platforms, and then we've got published platforms. And so the interactions that we have and the potential that they have to make such a huge difference to any particular individual, the way that they feel about themselves, the way that they care about themselves, and then what happens in the rest of their life, that's totally what it is about my industry. I love the potential of our positive impact. I just think it's so much more far-reaching than any of us could ever possibly imagine when you go into your work with that intention. So that's what I love about this very incredible industry, and it's kind of just such a privilege and an honor to be of service in that space.
Yes. Yeah, I feel you 100 times over. I feel like you've been in my brain and you know exactly, like it's beautiful. I love the way you see it. And I'm interested to know, is that something that you knew, did you know about that in the industry before you started? Did you kind of go into it because of that, or you found that out?
No, I really think I found that out. And I also think that I have found that out in my journey of honouring myself and my space too, and the positive ripple effect that I have when I feel good in my skin. And I think when I really learned to honour that and encourage that in myself, I'm able to obviously offer that as a gift to somebody else in my in my sphere. So that is something that I think I developed. I think when I was younger, I just didn't have that capacity of understanding, and perhaps I didn't have people so directly influencing me or inspiring me to hop into that sphere at that stage. Whereas now I do feel like it is really encouraged, particularly in my clinic. I see people of all different ages. So the younger someone is, I feel like sometimes the more grateful I am. I'm like, woo, we can make a really big difference. If I had learned all the things that I know now back when I was younger, I would be a prodigy for sure.
Yes. Yeah, that's really beautiful. And you're right, it's so dynamic, our industry. So much going on. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to kind of pile on from basically where we were just there. And I really want to find out and get you to tell us all about how you became to be who you are. I could keep listing all your titles. There's so many. I'm not sure if I missed any.
I probably got more. I've got so many more than that. I don't even bother listing all of them. I've also got to the point where paper, that's not what I'm interested in. And often if I come across someone who really needs to have that validation, they're probably not my ideal avatar anyway. Yes. So I kind of embody all the things that I've ever learned, and it's a far-reaching educational profile that I do have, and I guess that's part of what makes me up. Like I'm nearly 42 years old, and I have had a very full on life. Like people who meet me and who know a little bit about my story often say that I've lived 1,000 lives in this one already. Like I really have delved into so many different arenas, and because of that, it has been a full on wild ride. Like it's been tumultuous, and there's been trials and tribulations, and lots of triumphs, and lots of love and laughter. But yeah, lots of lessons, lots of blessings, and all the different challenges that I have been through and surmounted and risen from time and time and time and time and time again, that has given me teachers, and whether they've been physical teachers or teachers in any other realm, it just has given me an opportunity to learn more about myself. What are the gifts that have been in that learning, no matter how hard it was? And I can tell you that every aspect of my life that maybe at the time I thought was really traumatic, I can look back on now and just be like, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for where I'm at now. And without some of those lessons, perhaps I wouldn't be here. So, or in this position that I'm in right now. And so I think that really broad spectrum of learning that I place myself in through so many different arenas has given me an ability to connect with people on so many different platforms, but also lots of different ages, lots of different socioeconomic groups, like just so many different people in lots of different streams of life. And I think that ability, now that I'm at a stage in my life where I really want to be a bigger sharer of information, I think that ability to connect is really, really important and really vital for where I'm stepping into next. And so, yeah, it has been definitely a very well lived life. I've really done many things.
Yeah. Oh, I love everything you just said then. And I think that was really beautiful that you spoke about your life in that way, because when you really, like when I hear you say all that, I'm reflecting on me even saying that you have so many titles. It's like, you know what, you're Pia. You've been through this journey that makes you you, like those education, of course, that it encompasses you. It's a part.
It's certainly not all the impact that person can have. And I'm sure that you have also met many people in your life with probably multitudes of certificates, and for whatever reason they're not a person that's able to really help you. I've definitely met quite a few people like that in my life. And no matter how many books you've read and how many certificates you've got, if it's actually not your passion and it's not something that you're very good at sharing, it's completely stunted. It's that information, that knowledge is kept generally in that person and in a way that's never being able to share it with others. So sometimes it's so hard.
Yeah, it's that, you like you said, that connecting. Yeah,
yes, definitely.
it's beautiful. So yeah, I guess I'd love for you to elaborate on this topic. How did you become the person you are today? And I know you've been through, like you said, you've lived 1,000 lives, so many things. But I guess we'd love to know, as beauty therapists in this group, what kind of got you into the industry? I find that's a really, really personal for everybody.
Yeah, it's so personal, and I feel like I've got a really atypical story that has also been part of my trials and tribulations and challenges for sure. So,
Yeah.
my mum was a registered nurse that then moved into the beauty therapy industry, was a teacher in the industry, started up her own business, was a real pioneer back in the day. And so she had already did have a business, and I was working there already in year 12. I turned 17 when I finished year 12, and I
Wow.
really had no idea what I was going to do. Like I kind of was interested in many things, and I was pretty good at many things, and I didn't really care about anything much at that particular stage. And I had a state league netball career as well. And Mum said, "Well, come and work with me and start your beauty therapy diploma." Back in the old days, this was at Flagstaff College before it became Vic Uni. And so I did that. I was working full time and studying full time and playing state league netball full time and partying full time, I think, pretty much. So
Loving life.
and so that began my journey into this industry. And then I think about 14 years ago now, I bought the business from my mum. And yeah, she and I have had a really rough ride together. And so we're in a really good place now, but that has probably been one of my greatest challenges in my business life, for sure, going into a family-run business. So that's how my career started. And so for many years, I actually felt fairly trapped, I think, when I was younger, and I felt like I was living someone else's dream, and my love for the industry was definitely on hold. And then after I bought the business, I really lost my mojo for a little while. Like I really recognized later I just wasn't doing enough to feed my passion. I really was just working like in the grind. I was really using my determination and my own self-motivation, I guess, to get through week in, week out without feeling inspired. And there's a really big difference, if you're literally just dragging your willpower through rather than feeling inspired and feeling that flow and that ease. And so then I reached a point at about the same time I was studying to do my naturopathy degree. I came across dermavigils, and that completely reignited my love to be able to treat people individually. And I guess just prior to dermavigils, like the sink of life, it all rolls in. So I had been through some other kind of traumatic events, and I had gone on a really big healing journey. I had seen lots and lots of different people from lots and lots of different modalities. And I guess that had shifted my perspective of self-care and self-love and self-nurture, the things that are really important to have within yourself when you work in the industry of giving. And so then dermavigils came along, and then I started my naturopathy degree. And so all of these things started really syncing together, and I started to really evolve and change my business. And so not many people, particularly then, were really evolving into a more holistic approach, so looking at the internals. But because I had become so spiritual on that same journey of my own healing, I was also bringing in other modalities that I was utilizing in my outside life. So my business has just ended up being like an evolution of me, really. So everything I love is my business. And so because I've been working now for I think it's like 23 or 24 years. I think I'd be getting onto now in the industry, which is a long time. I wouldn't even recognize my old self, like I find it so amazing, the evolutionary journey that I'm on. And I've laughed to myself a number of times. I'm like, wow, like this business is me. Like you know, like I can't really separate them.
Yep.
Like there's flavors of me everywhere, even the colors of the walls.
Oh, I love it. It's really nice. You did a full 360,
Yes.
180. Yeah, whatever it means, but
I did a full 360. Yeah,
360. Yeah.
I literally I did a full circle, and then I started a
Yes.
whole new circle. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's that inner circle, that's still part of me, but my whole entire sphere has widened so massively, and so has my joy, so has my capacity for giving and loving and sharing, and yeah, and it really was entwined with my own healing and how much input I put into me. So that's the point that I guess I really want to get across. I mean, I'm pretty sure that all of us reach a point sometimes where we feel flat or low or not as in love perhaps with our day, each day after day as we might be. And that's where your self-giving and your self-care and that alignment with self is just the most vital thing, yeah, to flow that love into your business and through your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that definitely gives hope to a lot of beauty therapists perhaps out there who might come across this or is watching today. You know, it's not over. If you lose your passion, like you can reignite that.
I've been so, I can't even tell you, so close so many times, like not just once or twice, so many times. I was like, this is really it. I've had it. I'm going to sell. I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? I just work so hard, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't understand what I'm doing. And now I really understand what I'm doing, and it's because I really understand myself. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yep, that's yeah, it was definitely a key thing in reigniting my ability to serve. And part of that was linked in with the education, obviously, with individuals and that individualization of service. And then the internal knowledge through my naturopathy degree. Like I have loved doing that. And that's not for everybody at all. Like I'm not saying that is not going to be what ignites your passion. It's a very challenging degree. It certainly will weed you out pretty quickly if that's not your passion. So
Yeah.
not waste money if it's not your passion. Yeah, so yeah, all of those different things have combined to reignite my passion as a therapist and as a teacher and as an employer and all of those things, and as a team member. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I love it. Before I go to that next question, I really love this topic. And I guess what I wanted to see what your opinion of this is, because I find in our industry, and it really depends what services you provide, really, but I find that we get this beautiful opportunity when we're in this state of giving that we get to, I mean, depends how you use the time, but we get all this quiet time, right? And we just,
Time.
yeah, so much quiet time, and we're just with ourselves and the client. And yeah, depending on where you go and what your thoughts are and your experiences of the world, it's such an incredible opportunity to come to yourself and go
Oh,
through this journey.
yeah, when I am looking after clients in clinic in here, I go into such a meditative space.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much beautiful energy sharing in the room, and you know, I've often heard other therapists say, "Oh, I get so tired after work." I do not. I get really, I love it.
Yeah.
Like maybe if I work 12-hour day, sure. I like physically, I might be a little tired, but in terms of the connection that I'm making over and over and over with people, and that touch, I just find it so uplifting and such a beautiful experience for both of us. And what I have noticed is that the more connected I am when I'm in the room, the easier it is for me to help drop that other person into their space of connection. And so that's why, I mean, I do utilize sound bowls and meditation and breath work and, you know, incense and lots of different tools to help me get that person there. You know, like the rooms are really dark, there's salt lamps, there's candles, you know, like there's like a sensorial experience for the person that helps them feel like they're in a little cocoon. And the guided visualizations are really important just to help them drop their mind control to really get back into their heart space. And you know, if any of us can help someone drop their mind for an hour, it doesn't matter in which way you do it, as a beauty therapist, skin therapist, holistic practitioner, you are winning. So most of us are so caught up in our modern lives and our minds, and what's happening next? What haven't I done? Da, 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 da. If you can get someone out of their headspace, you are just excellent. Well done. So that is a really amazing goal for all therapists, I believe.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of beauty therapists thinking right now, how, because I've been asked this before, and this is something I had to teach myself, and I'm still learning.
We all are learning. If you're not learning, you're dead, in my opinion.
That's right.
You're on your way through. So.
Yeah, that's right. So do you have any tips or pieces of advice for the beauty therapists out there on how they can, I guess, protect their energy, but not so much protect it, because it's not about that, about kind of getting into that state and getting into that where they're not feeling drained at the end of the day?
So I guess first and foremost, it's what belief do you hold? If you believe that people drain your energy, that's going to be really hard for me to tell you anything to protect it. So it's about dropping that belief in the first place. Like literally, that belief, in my opinion, is really irrelevant. So if you hold the very strong belief that everyone that comes into your sphere is offering you a gift in some way, and you are also offering them a gift, that it is a reciprocal cycle. If you see it from that filter, from that lens of a give-receive cycle, then every single person that comes into your arena is offering you something. And when you touch someone, or energy, whether it's a physical touch or an energetic touch, all you're doing is popping your energy there. There is no dragging of energy, like it's not leaving your body, like it's your energy is your energy. That other person cannot take it with them. They cannot walk out the door with your energy. Your energy is totally your own. And so you can go through different visualization techniques, like where again, I mean, I will explain it, but then I'll also say something again at the end. If you put on like a golden suit, you could pop on a golden suit or a golden cape every single day. It could be your cape of protection. But when you do that, you're upholding the belief that you need protecting. And I used to do that many years ago. Like I dropped that such a long time ago, and it's completely changed all of my interactions. I believe that every soul here is doing their best with whatever resources they have available to them. And one of the things that I have learned is that we all have very different resources available to us at any given time. And so when we just offer someone some space, it can really change what resources are available to them at the time, and it can change their interactions with you. And so, I just really believe that we are no one's intentionally doing anything wrong on a soul level to anybody else, because all souls are beautiful. On a physical and mind level, yes. And so that's why you help people drop out of their mind and into their bodies, into their heart. They are a completely different person. You give me 5 minutes with someone doing a meditation, and I tell you, they'll be operating from a different space. So I mean, it could be just a new intention of yours to hold space for somebody, in a way where you are. It literally matters not who they are and what they're doing. You're just here to facilitate guiding them into their own sense of connection and their heart space. And from that point, you can work so easily with a person. And if they choose not to, that's also okay. But I guess then just be more aware of what your output is. So if I do come across people that I think, we're not really aligned, like, I mean, it's just, if you're not loving me and I'm doing all my things and you're not feeling it, that's so okay. I think it used to hurt my feelings, because I'm like, I'm such a giver, I'm such a people pleaser. Like, how could you not love me? I'm so crazy, give great hugs, and then I just realized it's nothing to do with me. So it's just about them. And if they're choosing not to interact with me on that level, that's so fine. I will still offer them my very best. And you never know, like in another 4 months, 6 months, they might come back to you and be like, you know what? You looked after me a little while ago and something shifted or something changed. That has happened to me many times over many, many years. And so as long as if you're just being you and operating from your best space, that's so perfect.
Yes. Yeah. So amazing. I hope that everybody hears that over and over and over again. That's beautiful. And that definitely shifted a little thought in my brain, because I have always thought, I mean, I'm moving away from that thought, but I have got it in my brain somewhere. You got to protect the energy. And I think so right. just drop the belief.
Yeah, it is literally, it's just
Yeah.
any belief is just a filter that we are choosing to see the world through. If you
Yeah.
change your filter, all of a sudden the whole world looks really different. So it's sometimes we need help dropping beliefs. Like I've had so many ingrained beliefs that I've had help time and time and time again. Like I can't tell you how many times I've thought, oh great, I finally let go of that, and then something pops up and I'm like, shit, here it is again, rearing its little head again. And and I have definitely sought the help of other professionals in many different like helping arenas, to be able to assist me letting go of some of my beliefs. And some of them I just look at, I think about it, I recognize it, and I'm like, that is not serving me in any way, shape, or form. I do not need that belief. Why do I have it? And then I just, poof, it's gone.
Yeah, it's possible. We can do that. That's great thing to pass on. I love that. So let's get into the more educational side. This is going to be really helpful. All of this is helpful, but what are your top 3 educational resources that you frequently access, or have you found valuable throughout your career? Anything at all?
Okay, so I think I have already definitely mentioned dermavigilance changing my whole educational process. So I mean, I've always been one to question why, but I remember the first time I went to dermavigilance training, and I was just like light bulb moments that it actually changed the way I started researching and looking at skin and skincare and the physiology and the biology and the chemistry of all those different interactions with skin and skincare. That Dermavigilance Australia as a resource, Simone Vesco, she changed my life. And so her ability to offer information is fantastic. I mean, she's a really inspiring woman. And the private dermavigilance forums where lots of different therapists share information, I have found that to be invaluable. There are some very clever therapists on there that have offered really amazing information. So that is definitely a platform that I access a lot, and their in-house training, their symposiums, the whole lot. And then I guess I've seen so many other educators in my time, like the Gabe Wardle and Florence Barrett-Hill and so many other people that have shaped our industry and offered and given so much of themselves. They are incredible. And I have attended, I'm pretty sure, every single masterclass training ever known to man in my industry in my 20 odd years of being around. And I also use, I think I've mentioned this before, Google Scholar. I think I access it every single day. I'm always reading a journal article or just connecting some dots between something, or just verifying some information, or just helping deepen my understandings of many different topics. There is basically, I mean, apart from many of the holistic alternative medicine topics, there's many scientific topics, but there's not enough information on some of the wellness and energetic stuff that I believe makes a really big difference. Yet it's coming. But and I also access my business coach, Gabby Kowalski, is a soul-based coach, and I've been working with her for about 2.5 years. I think she has also completely changed my trajectory, and I invest a lot into my learning with her. She offers a lot as a coach. I'm doing a webinar with her every week, and then every 3 months we do a 4-day seminar together. So it's big, there's a lot of momentum behind that. And I find that challenging because of all the other things that I'm constantly doing all the time. So I can fall behind, I guess, in my jobs that I meant to do with that. But her ability to offer information, like she spends a fortune on her education, so she's a master in many of the different fields that she's offering education in. So I get to have her education delivered to me from the multitude of different platforms that she's working in a way that I find really inspirational and changing. And so that's my other big learning investment that I think is very, very worthwhile. And I think a business coach is something that can help everybody. And I understand that sometimes budget can really be an issue. But budget can sometimes be an issue because you don't have a business coach. So that old conundrum. Often you talk to business coaches and you say that this is the situation I'm in. Sometimes some of them, it's happened to me before, where they're happy to put you on a payment plan. So sometimes affordability, I get it. I've been running a business a long time. I'm definitely back up against or financially many times in my life. And just having someone on your team that understands the situation you're in, but he's also on your team and he's there exactly to help you get out of that situation. That's a powerful thing when you're in business, and you don't get taught any business skills in college at all. None. Nada. Like literally, I think you have to write a business plan now as part of the modules. Back when I did school, I don't even think you have to do that. So, it's really been trial and tribulation learning for me. And I have invested a lot of money into lots of different business seminars, lots of different coaches along the way.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of power in investing in yourself in general, and especially with the whole business coach and getting that help if you are in business. Sometimes having that fresh eye.
There's so many free resources now. Like there's so many different online communities and platforms where coaches they offer so much free information for anyone that's part of their community. And obviously it's time consuming. Like I'm involved with many different communities. It's hard to keep a tab on everything, but if business is your focus, then it's time to choose sometimes where you're putting your focus and to leave all the other tabs behind and just focus on the business ones for a little while. So there's plenty of so much amazing free information out there.
Yes, awesome. This is a fun one, and I'd love to just hear what you have to say here. And it is, do you have any predictions about the future of the beauty industry, what it might look in the next 10 to 20 years? I ask everyone this, and it's very intriguing.
It's a question, and I actually was, I think a trigger for my answer here is Tamara from Beauty Industry posted this morning about the L'Oreal have got a new high-tech device that's personalised. So I really think that individualized care is just exploding. I mean, I feel like it's already kind of there. L'Oreal now, they only spend money when they are listening to their consumers and acting upon what their consumers want. They have now released what I consider to be a very generic, who cares about a product, but what they are doing is opening the doorway for every person who offers a higher level of care that is individualized, that is bespoke, that is personalized, where you are able to that person in front of you and say to you, this is exactly what you need. This is your targeted treatment. I'm not just picking a box up off the shelf. I can make something specifically for you. And so I think the L'Oreal product that I looked at had skincare, and then there was a foundation and a lipstick. So clever. And like, I think to hit the generic marketplace in that way shows exactly where the marketplace is. They are screaming out for people to care for them, for exactly them. And so they understand now that generic, just, any box for any skin type, it's not working. It doesn't work. And the results are not miracles that were promised. I think that individualized care is exactly where our industry is going to go. And individualized might mean that spread their wings within their business and learn more, or they might bring in other integrated allied professionals, or they have a really strong referral network. It matters not, but it's about having a team of people around you that is giving you the opportunity to offer holistic care. And holistic means you're looking at the whole person. As a skin therapist, as a beauty therapist, obviously we're looking at the skin. The skin is our largest interface between our internal world and our external world. There's a hell of a lot going on between those two sides, a hell of a lot. And so being able to look at that person and that skin as an entire being and what else might be going on for that person, and then be able to direct them to a more targeted treatment. Oof, imagine how much your client loves you when you're able to do that. I can see that this is going on for you, and this is how you can work to get some change. So that individualized care practice, that personalization, that is what will create a really big difference in our industry. So from people, I guess, who are what I consider to be more serious practitioners, and those that are really happy to just care for people on a lighter level. So that's kind of where I see a pretty big split coming. The other thing that might happen from that, I was considering to myself this morning, is just the regulations. So obviously, if L'Oreal is doing personalised care, individualised care, the money that is behind these sort of projects is huge. And so what happens when there's money behind any project is regulations. and so people trying to keep other practitioners out of industry. So, you know, I've definitely felt that with the naturopathic industry. You know, like we are no longer able to access insurance for our clients. That will change, you know, in the future. But there's been a lot of bias, and you know, there's court cases. Like it's been ridiculous. But there is not a lot of support from many people in the medical field, and that applies to not just naturopaths, but also to beauty therapists, skin therapists. Like there is definitely regulatory things that will change in our industry over time, because of the money that's involved. Sometimes it's about the care, but yeah, definitely the money involved with the individualization of products is definitely going to be a thing for our industry to get on top of.
Yeah, yes. And how great of an opportunity is it for us therapists in the industry? I mean, L'Oreal is a retail, they're out there selling to everybody, but they can't, I mean, I'm sure they can do a really good job, but they can't connect on that individual level and offer such a tailored experience as much as we can as therapists.
No, not at all. Not at all. And it's still, I don't know, I actually haven't looked into how they are delivering these products, but they still must have a set mix of ingredients in that product. So I'm assuming that there must be some wastage at the end, which the consumers will jerry onto at the end. Do you know what I mean? Like there's going to be, anyway, I'm not too sure how they're navigating through that. But yeah, individualized care, particularly individualized skin care, it's a really big wave that's coming at our industry. And I hope that people, other industry players, do it really ethically and morally. I'm interested to see how it unfolds. So
we're so lucky to I myself in my clinic, I have to say I agree with you, Pia. Dermavisuals did change my outlook on every single thing, and they're just an amazing company for individualized care. And wow, like you're right, it's here now, and it's just going to explode.
Now, and that is what is the most beautiful gift that we have is other companies like that opening up the marketplace. It's opening up a conversation. It's opening up many people who maybe aren't conscious yet about how important individualized care is. So L'Oreal, I kind of appreciate them. Thank you so much, like, for opening up the mass consumer marketplace to really thinking about what individualized care is. And then it's our job to show people, yeah, sure, I appreciate you, L'Oreal, but this is actually what really individualized care is. And how far do you want to go with that? And how worth it are you? Is that a L'Oreal line?
Maybe she was born with it. Oh no, that's a different one.
You're worth that individualized care.
Oh, thank you. And this is a beautiful one. And perhaps this next question, there could be so many answers to it. But if you could go back in time and give, who knows, whichever version of your younger self, one piece of life advice, what would it be? I think this is a beautiful question.
Yeah, it is a beautiful question. And I hope that my younger me hears it and we change some timelines.
In a different universe.
I guess the most powerful thing that I have ever learned that I would love to share with my younger self is that when you live and operate from your heart space, there is so much alignment, there is so much ease, there is so much flow, there is so much understanding of self, and the love that you have for yourself generates so much more excitement and fun and beauty in your world. And also learn how to breathe properly. It's very important to connect to your heart space. Breathe. Yeah. So connecting to heart space, I learned it as an oldie, and I wish I'd learned it as a youngie.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for beauty therapists before we end this interview? I'm sure, that breathing, that's something we can look up on the internet. How do you breathe? I do it wrong all the time. We're going to breathe into our belly, right?
Yeah, totally. I've got a journal article coming out in the new APAN journal, I think in the next week or two. I think it's being released, but I'm talking about vagal nerve activity. So our vagus nerve is our 10th cranial nerve. It's our longest cranial nerve. And the term vagus is a Latin term meaning meandering or wandering, and it literally is a nerve that wanders through our whole body and connects with so many of our organ systems, particularly our digestive tract, also our heart. And so when we are able to breathe, and it is called deep belly breathing, but obviously we only are breathing into our lungs, but you're using your whole lung capacity. But where you can really notice it is if you have a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly, and if you breathe down low into your lungs, the hand on your chest should hardly rise. So really the hand on your belly should be the one going up and down. And sometimes for some people that takes a little bit of practice. And it's good because you can see it and you can feel it. So sometimes if you're not too sure, some people aren't very connected to their breathing. You might need to look into a mirror standing on the side and see the position of your hands and see which ones are moving. But when you are really engaging with your diaphragm and really pumping your lungs up and down with a really long, like the inhale through your nose, and it's a slightly longer exhalation. So you're really controlling your diaphragm as you push the air out. So that expansion and contraction of your diaphragm stimulates your vagal nerve activity. It is the most amazing thing you can do to help your parasympathetic nervous system come into play. So when we're out of our sympathetic nervous system dominance, that fight or flight mode, man, are we effective. Like we get much more out of our head. We are in our full body relaxation mode. We're able to think more clearly. You know, when we're in sympathetic nervous system mode, it's our body that's in action mode, and our cognitive skills actually go down. And that's where most of us have spent most of our lives. So imagine how much smarter we'll be when we're all breathing better. My God, I up all over the place.
I love that. Yeah. And that just comes to the heart space, I suppose, through that breathing.
It sure does. And I'm sure that you have ever noticed that if you've ever sat with someone or you're talking to someone who is breathing slower, that their body energy feels a little bit different. Like often their energy field that you know most of us can feel someone's vibe. They feel softer. They feel more open. So when you're in that space, can you imagine the impact that has on the client? They immediately enter into your world. You are soft. You are open. You've slowed down. And then when you're really in rapport with the client, your breath and their breath match. And that's why I do like to start my treatments with some breathing with my clients, just to really drop them into a really low extended breath space. And then they generally maintain that through the treatment. So yeah, powerful.
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
Into
So
the
powerful. I love it. I love it.
Wow.
Wow.
To build rapport with the client, if for other therapists that maybe aren't utilizing breath practices, you might feel awkward and clunky initially when you first start doing it. So do it to yourself first. Talk yourself through a breathing exercise, then talk through friends, then talk through partners. The more you practice doing that, the easier and more comfortable it'll be. But what you'll really find is that when you are in the room and you ask your clients to inhale and you also inhale at the same time and then you exhale and you say to them, exhale audibly out of your mouth, like relax through your jaw, let go with a sigh, and then go and do the noise, do the breath with them. You literally are syncing both of you the same. It really, you'll notice it. Your treatments will become so much more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really, really special. Thank you. I've got tingles and I feel really calm now just after practicing that. So I hope this is well received. And before we go, I'd love to give you the opportunity to share with the beauty therapists in this group, you know, where can they find you? What are your current, what's your big thing right now? We would love to connect with you.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I do look after a lot of other skin therapists at my skin clinic in Melbourne. So, if you ever come to Melbourne, please look up Verve Skin Beauty Wellness. Yet my next adventures is the Pia Kynoch Holistic Education. So, I've just started my Facebook page. My Instagram page is there, but I haven't quite gotten on to building that yet. But my seminars are happening in Wellington first in New Zealand. So they are on the 19th and the 20th of January at the CQ Hotels in Wellington. And then my next one is in Melbourne on the 9th and 10th of Feb. So it's a Sunday and a Monday. And then I've potentially got one coming up in the Gold Coast at the end of March that's still yet to be all finalised. So, yeah, I'm really excited. My Holistic Digestive Intensive, I've had a number of people ask me about this also, so I'm so happy to share this. What I'm doing is looking at the holistic picture and how things do affect the digestive system. This is not just a run through of anatomy and physiology. Like, everyone can, honestly, you could watch a YouTube video and learn a bit about anatomy and physiology if you wanted to about the digestive system. What I'm doing is linking all the topics that relate to the digestive system and function, and how that could relate to that person sitting in front of you, and how all of it relates to the person sitting in front of you. And a leaky gut is a leaky gut. Sure, I get it. It's the same as having a leaky skin barrier, but there are so many different implicating factors into why that person might be presenting with that, whether it's their skin or their gut that's leaky. So that's what I'm really interested in, linking together all the myriad of dots from all the different streams, and presenting it to people in an information space that's actually really clear. I'm not one to stand up there and list really complex chemical pathways. I see the value in it for someone who's a really high-end researcher. I do understand all those pathways. I do a lot of reading. I do read scientific journals for fun, no joke. But I really think that what is applicable in a clinical environment is when people understand and can really understand complex topics in a way that's actually relevant and personal to them as a person. When you have taken educational information that means something to you, you are much more able to deliver it to another person. And it's something that I have learned time and time again. And as an educator, I think that is a really big point of difference. So I will break down, into pathways, but what I'm looking at is linking it all the fairly complex topics that actually affect our whole system, how it's functioning as a whole person.
Beautiful. That's really amazing. I'm sold. I hope I'm free.
Yeah, I honestly don't know anybody else who's doing what I'm doing. I really don't. So I'm so excited for what I'm able to offer therapists that come. I really am. Like, I just think that it'll really change people's perspective and their understanding of this wholeness. And that's what I'm interested in. Like, we're not just a skin, we're not just a heart, we're not just a digestive system. Like, we're a whole person. And the greater people's understanding is of that holistic principle, the greater their ability is to help themselves and another. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yes, yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to come in here and pop all of your links in the comments in case anyone wants to come and connect. Yep. But before we go, I'm going to let you say goodbye, and I'm going to end it all off.
Well, Kathleen, I just want to say thank you so much. This is such a beautiful conversation. Sometimes I get asked these sort of questions, but it's so nice to share, and it's so nice that you're offering this platform for our industry. I'm so proud of what you're achieving and your ability to bring people together. I just read a couple of the comments on the side. It's so lovely that you're generating such positive ripple effects. I love it. So well done. And thank you to everyone that tuned in. I really appreciate you listening, and I hope that you feel great after sharing this conversation with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pia. And yes, thank you to everybody that is here today. Before you go, I'd like to say again, thank you for being here with me and Pia and myself. By watching and tuning into videos and interviews just like this, it proves that you have what it takes to be an industry leader and achieve your dreams. So stay on top of your game, beauty therapists. Keep educating yourself, really networking amongst each other, and don't forget the whole reason why you became a beauty therapist in the first place. Thank you so much.
Bye.